Part 17. I Can Break the Dimensional Wall. Author, Zhou Miao. Chapter 161. Someday. Near a large boulder somewhere in the woods. Tanjiro is still practicing fighting with Sato. Sato is a dead ghost who has been practicing swordsmanship with Tanjiro. There is a girl ghost named Mako next to him. They are all disciples of Mr. Lintaki. Hope Tanjiro can defeat the hand ghost who killed all his disciples. Tanjiro also became stronger and stronger under the guidance of Sato. However, Tanjiro has been practicing for almost 2 years, and he has worked very hard, but the big stone still does not move. All he can do is improve himself. Tired, but persevering. Tanjiro also remembers Mako's guidance, the only shortcut is to practice until death. So Tanjiro practiced even harder, squeezing his potential and physical strength, especially after seeing that Syaruo was so strong, he hardly relaxed. Just a moment after Tanjiro and Sato missed the fight, a gust of wind blew over. It was a very strange wind, different from the normal wind, and in that gust, Tanjiro smelled a familiar smell, which he had smelled a few days ago. This wind is the same as the wind that appeared on the day Syaruo came, and it tastes different from ordinary wind. Syaruo, Zitu, and Genmuo, one person and 2 ghosts looked in the direction of the wind at the same time, but there was no one in that place. Who is coming? Sato shouted in that direction, although it was strange, but Sato could feel that even if he was a ghost, the other party could find him, because he felt the gaze being stared at. What kind of guy, even ghosts can see. Meow. Accompanied by a meow, and then, in their eyes, a very petite figure appeared. A cat. A standing cat slowly walked over. The cat was very strange. It was strange to stand and walk, and it was wearing a suit of clothes, with a straw hat on top of its head covering its eyes. The cat's head was slanted down 45 degrees, and it was in a very strange posture. Tanjiro even noticed that the cat was holding a piece of grass at the corner of its mouth. That cat is like a lonely night. Tom. Tanjiro recognized it. This cat was Tom, the cat who had been with Syaruo all the time. At that time, Syaruo let herself touch its fur, and it was very smooth. I didn't expect Mr. Tom to appear in such a strange shape today. Is Mr. Tom hungry? Tanjiro thought Tom was hungry and came looking for something to eat. Tanjiro, do you know this cat? Sato had actually seen Tom a few times, the cat that was playing with birds nearby, but he didn't expect that the cat would come to his door today. Meow Meow is here. Genmo had also seen Tom and wanted to touch one, but he had no chance to touch one. He is Syaruo's pet, a very good cat. Really? That's not necessarily the case. Satoshi seemed to feel something was wrong. For some reason, he felt threatened from the cat in front of him. Feeling threatened by a cat? I always feel that this matter is a bit too bizarre, but Sato thought about it for a while. Since he is a ghost, he doesn't care what is weird or not. Tom looked at the 3 people in front of him, with a look of disdain in his eyes. He came here today for no other reason than to learn from his master how to pretend to be the limelight, because he feels that sometimes, the master always steals the limelight. Gone. For a cat who is often in the spotlight, Tom is very uncomfortable with this, so he decided to practice his pretentious skills and steal the limelight from his owner later. And there was no one around, so Tanjiro was easy to step on. So, Tom came. Under the gazes of the 3 of Tanjiro, Tom's breathing changed, and at the same time, he assumed a combat posture. Get out of the way, Tanjiro, it's about to attack. Sato pushed Tanjiro away, and stood in front of Tom himself, and Sato could feel that the current Tanjiro was no match for this cat. Hands. A cat? Today's Tanjiro has not felt that something is wrong with the atmosphere. At the same time, Tom moved, and Tom who drew his knife disappeared in place, leaving a lot of water and spray on the dagger it swung. Water breathing. How could it be water breathing? Tanjiro was stunned when he saw this scene. He didn't expect that a cat could learn to breathe water. Obviously, this cat was just a cute cat next to Syaruo. Looking aside, Sato could still remain calm and charged forward, but Makoto, who usually had no expression on the side, was stunned. Meow, I'm breathing water, Makoto said in a daze. No one has seen this scene. Soon, Tom and Sato fought, and the swords of the two collided together, making the sound of swords clashing with each other, and splashing water. It seemed like normal swordsmen were fighting. But that's clearly not the case. Clang. 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 The scene of a man fighting a cat that is much smaller than him is really funny. All of Sato's sword moves will be blocked by that small sword. Sato's speed is very fast, and the sword is so fast that it is difficult for ordinary people to see, but no matter how fast his sword is, it will be blocked by Tom's sword down. It's outrageous. Clang. 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 Sato felt like he was hammering iron all the time, and the opponent was like an iron wall, motionless. And Tom was obviously playing, just defending, not attacking, and he didn't mean to use his full strength at all. Tanjiro looked at the scene and almost spit out a mouthful of blood. Unexpectedly, after studying for 2 years, he could not even compare to a cat. And Satoshi also seemed unable to bear the fact that he was being played by a cat, and wanted to speed up the fight, but Tom was obviously faster than him. A gust of wind suddenly broke out on his petite body, and Tom, who used magic, was instantly faster. Times, and suddenly disappeared in place. The next moment, Tom appeared behind Tanjiro. Snapped. Snapped. Sato and Tanjiro fell to the ground together. It turned out that Tom killed Tanjiro together just now. The back of the knife is used, so Tanjiro is not in danger of life, and Sato is a ghost, and there is nothing wrong with it, but this instant kills, and then appears behind him. This posture is learned by Tom from the animation before. I didn't expect it to be useful one day. Puff. Tom spat out the grass in his mouth with a puff, and then left gracefully. It was as if nothing had happened just now. So cool. Tom feels that this pretentious mode is really cool. No wonder it is performed like this in the animation. Tom thinks he can do it again tomorrow. It's just that Sato and Tanjiro, who stayed behind, naturally didn't think so. It's definitely a shame to be defeated by a cat. Afterwards, Sato's training on Tanjiro became more severe, and Tanjiro sometimes almost felt that he would just be like this, trained to die. Tanjiro originally wanted to go back and tell Syaruo about this matter, but Syaruo didn't finish practicing swordsmanship that night and didn't come back, so Tanjiro didn't say anything. Of course, if Syaruo knew about this, he would definitely pull Tom over to be a training partner for him, and Tom escaped inexplicably. In fact, although Tom has gradually become stronger, he is still more afraid of Syaruo. For Tom, the most terrifying person in the world is his own master, because of the power of reality. That is something that even Tom feels afraid of. When Tanjiro practiced the next day, Tom came again. This time, Tom still appeared with the strong wind, and he was still so ostentatious, with the cat's head slanted down 45 degrees, with grass in the corner of its mouth. Tom was really bored, and he didn't dare to go to the master's place. He was afraid that the master would make it a labor force, so he asked Tanjiro to play. Tanjiro may have guessed that Tom was here to play, but Sato felt that the cat was here to provoke, so he had sex with Tom. In general, compared to Syaruo's boring practice, Tanjiro's practice is very joyful. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 162. Continuous training every day, almost without interruption except sleeping, Syaruo really entered a life of penance. Sword skills are also slowly improving. The animation of Demon Slayer, Blade does not seem to have a very high level of combat power. It is just swinging a sword, as if there is an upper limit to the ceiling with a sword. But if you look at the ceiling of combat power, the growth rate is actually terrifyingly high, and the swordsmanship has reached the limit, not weaker than other animations of high martial arts. Especially the ceiling-level combat power in Demon Slayer, Ji Kuyuanyi, the god-level swordsman, seems to be someone from another animation, terrifying enough to crush the world's combat power. The world is invincible, unilaterally slap the biggest villain Wumi, forcing Wumi to split into 1,800 pieces of meat and flee in all directions, and then Ji Kuyuan was able to cut off 1,500 pieces in an instant, allowing 300 pieces to escape. The burning effect, burning for hundreds of years, still exists. When Xiaoruo was practicing, she couldn't understand at all what kind of state this kind of swordsmanship is. It can only be said that the growth of breathing method is more terrifying than imagined. In order to become stronger, Xiaoruo can only practice. This kind of life has passed for more than half a month. During this period, although his body didn't become much stronger, Xiaoruo's control over his body and actual combat experience have improved a lot. In the past, Xiaoruo used to fight unconsciously with swordsmanship, but now he can use a kind of swordsman thinking, relying on experience and skills to fight. This is a very big improvement, coupled with the wholehearted effort to do one thing, let Xiaoruo emptied his mind and reached a state of ecstasy. Xiaoruo felt that during this period of time, the biggest improvement was her spiritual will and perception. To be more specific, she had advanced from a fake swordsman to a real swordsman. After all the training was completed, looking through the mirror, Xiaoruaneng found that her eyes seemed to be brighter. One night half a month later, Lin Long felt that Xiaoruo could become a teacher, so he specially prepared a sumptuous dinner, stewed a large pot of meat, and grilled 7 or 8 fish. There was no such treatment on weekdays. In the original work, Lin Long will cook a delicious meal every time his disciple leaves, because every time the disciple will die outside and cannot return, so Lin Long's farewell meal is really a farewell meal. Xiaoruo didn't expect this, so she looked at the grilled fish and asked curiously, "Mr. Lin Long, how did you do it so well today?" Lin Long looked at the change in Xiaoruo's eyes, nodded in satisfaction, and said, "Now that you have completed all the cultivation, I have given you all that I can give you. During the training between us, I am not your opponent. It seems that the task given to me by the Lord has been completed." Lin Long was a little emotional. He originally thought that it would take half a year no matter how fast, but he didn't expect Xiaoruo to grow to this level in less than a month. Sure enough, there are monsters among human beings. "Mr. Lin Long, you have worked hard," Xiaoruo bowed to Mr. Lin Long. Lin Long looked at Xiaoruo's face, as if he saw his dead disciples one by one, but the spell should be broken. "Xiaoruo, finish this last meal. I can help you, so I can only do this. The next road is up to you. What you will encounter in the future is far worse than cultivation. To be difficult and dangerous. When the time comes, you will meet all kinds of ferocious ghosts, and they will use mysterious vampire techniques, hoping that you can take care of yourself." "Thank you, Mr. Lintaki, I will take care of myself." "Xiaoruo, you go first, and I will look for you soon." Tanjiro also looked in Xiaoruo's direction. With the help of Mr. Tom, he has made rapid progress. It is estimated that he will be able to split the stone. "Well, I'll wait for you." Xiaoruo glanced at Tanjiro and said, Nezuko hadn't woken up during his stay here. Interestingly, when Xiaoruo was talking to Tanjiro, Lintaki took out a very beautiful fox mask from his cabinet, and put it in front of Xiaoruo. "This is..." Xiaoruo twitched the corners of her mouth, and naturally recognized what it was. This mask is standard equipment for Lin Long's disciples, and there is no good end to it after wearing it. To be honest, this mask is still good, a bit like the mask worn by Hokujumbu. "This is an evil spirit mask I made myself, with a spell cast on it to protect you from disaster," Lin Long explained to Xiaoruo. Then I accept it? Syoruo didn't refuse either, and took the fox mask. After eating, Syoruo left after saying goodbye to Tanjiro and Mr. Renaki early the next morning. Among them, Tanjiro also said goodbye to Tom, seeming very reluctant. At the same time, Lin Long also said that he replied to the Lord, as long as Syoruo went back to the Lord directly. So, Syoruo was about to leave, but when Syoruo left, she didn't look back, but waved with her back. Mr. Lintaki, I went back to avenge the children who died before, and I will bring back the relics of those children. Mr. Lintaki quietly looked at Syoruo's back. Syoruo, why do you know about those children? The headquarters of the ghost killing squad. At this time, the Lord seemed to be talking to Dai Ninja about the medical treatment of the ghost killing squad, when a crow flew in from outside the window. It may be some urgent information, my lord, let's read the information first, Butterfly Shinobi said respectfully. Okay, wait for your business first. This crow is from Mr. Lintaki. Maybe something urgent happened to him. Mayayashiki Yoya took the crow in his hand, and handed it to the white-haired girl beside him. His eyes were already blind, and the letter on the crow could only be read to him by the white-haired girl beside him. Then I will leave first. Butterfly Ninja wanted to retreat, but was stopped by Yaya Miyashiki. No, it's fine if you stay here. Yes. Butterfly sat down again, and she did not refuse the Lord's order. The white-haired girl next to her took the letter from the crow and read it. I lived up to my Lord's entrustment, and within 17 days, I completed the guidance of Syoruo. Syoruo's progress in practice was extremely fast, and now I have completed all the cultivation and have returned. Although I still can't believe it, but this is an undoubted fact. Now Syoruo's strength is not weaker than Zu, and she will be able to stand alone in the future and become the hope of the ghost-killing team. I think that the hope of the ghost-killing team's generation lies in on Syoruo. I hope the Lord will pay attention to it. Lintaki left the next time. 17 days. Hearing this time, Butterfly Shinobi, who was sitting opposite, narrowed his eyes slightly. The news just now was really shocking. Shikishin has the strength of Zu, this is too exaggerated, even Dainin can't help but wonder whether this information is fake or not. Cough cough cough. Hearing the contents of this letter, Yoya Yabayashiki suddenly coughed violently. My lord. Butterfly looked at the Lord worriedly. It's okay, I'm a little excited because I'm happy. Yoya Mayayashiki raised his head, and sure enough there was a smile on his face. Lin Long did a good job, and now the ghost-killing team can add another Zu, it's really great. Yoya Yabayashiki had no doubts about Lintaki's words. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 163. After Syoruo came back, the Lord received Syoruo warmly, and Dai Ren looked at Syoruo curiously during the period, but the two just greeted each other and didn't communicate much. Moreover, Syoruo also learned from the Lord that there are only two pillars guarding the headquarters of the ghost-killing team, and the other pillars are guarding other places to suppress the raging evil spirits. The ones left behind are Shuazu Yiyang and Changja Butterfly Shinobi, but Yiyang is a bit of a nerd and doesn't like to communicate with others. He doesn't know what to do in the room all day long, and he doesn't know whether he is practicing or thinking about life. Syoruo has never seen it. When Syoruo came back, Yosei Yabayashiki planned to let Syoruo join the ghost-killing team directly, but Syoruo insisted on going to the team trial. There was no other way, the Lord could only let Syoruo in. And after Syoruo went in, he directly killed the hand ghost who ate Mr. Linlong's disciple, that is, the ghost who killed Sato and Mako, and brought out the mask relics of those children. The members sent it to Mr. Lintaki and wrote a letter. The letter explained the truth about the deaths of those disciples, and how he avenged them. In this way, Mr. Lintaki should feel better. After doing all this thoroughly, Syaruo has passed the trial of joining the team. Afterwards, she received a team uniform of the ghost-killing team. The ghost-killing squad quietly waited for the arrival of their own Japanese sword. However, Syaruo didn't need a Japanese sword, so he went directly to Yasuo Yabayashiki, hoping that he could issue a mission for himself. "Are you so urgent about the task? Isn't your solar saber finished yet?" Yabayashiki Yoya said softly, looking at Syaruo's face. "I don't need a sun-will knife. My wooden knife is very special. It can kill ghosts. I hope the Lord will give me a task. I heard that as long as I kill the 12 ghosts and moons, I can become a pillar, so I hope the Lord can kill the 12 ghosts for me." Moon's mission, Syaruo said very politely, but the content of what she said was crazy. "The 12 ghost moons are not so easy to find, you are in a hurry." Mayayashiki Yaze shook his head. He didn't doubt Syaruo's strength, but 12 ghost moons were really hard to find. The 12 ghost moons are the direct subordinates of Oni Mitsuji. Every ghost is very cunning. I can't find them at all. I found the 12 ghost moons because I exchanged the swordsman's life for information. Killing the 12 ghost moons can become a pillar, but encountering the 12 ghost moons also requires luck. But Syaruo came, and Yashiki Yaya did not ignore it, but took out 5 pieces of paper on the table beside him, all of which were the latest information. "I didn't intend to ask you to perform the mission immediately, but since you are here, let's take a look at these missions. These are all the information obtained in the past few days, which records some missing persons and mass death incidents. You can choose any one of them to carry out missions, just watch and choose." Yabayashiki Yaya still supported Syaruo's willfulness. He usually issued missions to swordsmen. When treating Syaruo, he actually asked him to choose the mission himself. This shows how much Yabayashiki Yaya attaches importance to Syaruo. Although he is not a pillar now, but he has more potential than Toki Tomoichiro, and he will grow up in the future. Naturally, he will treat such talents differently. If you have enough strength, you will get better treatment. Yes. Syaruo nodded, took over the information that the Lord gave her, and then looked at it a little bit. The information recorded in the information was the same as what the Lord said. It was some strange things that happened in various places. People disappeared and died, as if there were traces of ghosts. Looking at the details of the information, Syaruo suspected that the source of the information might be the official. It's just that there are some vague points in these reports. Some of the reports say that there are definitely ghosts, and it's fine to just send someone to kill the ghosts. And it is not clear whether there are ghosts in some information, so the swordsman can only rely on the swordsman to investigate. Syaruo took a look, and there were 3 pieces of information that confirmed the existence of ghosts, and they needed to send members of the ghost-killing team of a fixed level to hunt ghosts, while 2 were ambiguous pieces of information, which only introduced that there were people missing, and it was uncertain whether there were ghosts or not. Need to send swordsmen to investigate. Logically speaking, Syaruo only needs to find the information that confirms there are ghosts, and then go hunting ghosts. If you are lucky, you will meet the 12 ghost moons. However, Syaruo couldn't let go of the information in his hand. Many girls in Yoshiwara Flower Street are missing and their whereabouts are unknown. Not sure if there is a ghost, I need to send someone there. This intelligence is very critical, it seems to be just an ordinary intelligence, and the existence of ghosts is quite small. Because it was written in the information that many of the girls who were sold to Hwaja would disappear naturally after running away. It may be that they escaped the fire pit and went home, or it may be that the owners of those shops in Hwaja handled it privately. Universal thing. There are no rumors of ghosts in Hwaja, and no one has seen ghosts. Syaruo remembers that the Yoshihara Flower Street chapter is a big battle chapter in the manga chapters, and the warren in the flower street is the sixth of the winding. A beautiful female ghost, with the help of Hwaja's cover, wantonly eats people. However, Syaruo remembered that the opening of the Yoshihara Flower Street chapter would be at least a few months away, and this information came so early. This shows that the ghost-killing team actually found something wrong before, and then sent people to investigate. Didn't the investigators find any traces of ghosts? By the way, Syaruo thought that when Yinzu in the original work was exploring Hwaja, he was not sure if there was a ghost, and then sent his 3 wives to Hwaja as undercover agents, and finally all 3 wives were caught by ghosts. Interesting. Winding ghost. Flower Street. Beautiful female ghost. These words gathered together, Syaruo became interested and took over the information. Let me carry out this task. Although he couldn't see it, Yasuo Yabayashiki still knew which mission Syaruo had chosen. He knew all the missions, and it was precisely because of this that he was curious why Syaruo chose this mission. According to this information, it is not confirmed that there must be ghosts. Syaruo, did you find something? Miyashiki Yaze asks Syaruo. See what? I didn't see anything, I just saw the word Hwaja, so this task is more attractive to me than other tasks. Knowing how to explain the plot, Syaruo didn't explain it. Yuyamayayashiki. Syaruo had never seen that place in Japan's Flower Street. When she was reading manga, she became curious and wanted to check it out. And it's such a long-standing Hwaja. Really? Young man, you actually have such a hobby. Hearing this reason, the Lord seemed to smile. Then you go, but this is your first mission, I will send you a partner. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 164. The first mission, according to the principle, should be alone, but the Lord asked him to match with others, and Syaruo had no objection, but unexpectedly, Yabayashiki directly sent Butterfly Shinobi to come and Syaruo together. Syaruo didn't know about it until she was about to leave. Looking at Butterfly Ninja next to her, Syaruo hesitated for a moment. After the actual Butterfly Ninja stood in front of Syaruo, Syaruo realized that her body was a bit too petite. He is only 1.51 meters tall and weighs 39 kilograms. This is the official setting of Butterfly Ninja. This figure looks a bit like a junior high school student in front of Syaruo. Of course, Butterfly Ninja's external performance is very mature. Why did Butterfly Ninja come here in person? It's obviously just a reconnaissance mission. With black hair and purple pupils, purple hair tips, Dai-Ren walked up to Syaruo slowly with a gentle smile. She looked at Syaruo with a smile. Because there is a very important herb on the mountain near the mission, which is very useful for one of my poison configurations, and only I can find its growth location. I mentioned it to the Lord before, maybe the place is similar, so my Lord let me go with you. So that's how it is. Then what do you think? Butterfly Shinobu still had a smile on her face. Since her sister's accident, she often used this smiling expression to face other people. Although Butterfly Shinobu bears a huge hatred, and it is not her character to keep smiling and treat others, but Butterfly Shinobi is still a gentle and kind girl deep in her heart. Hey, cute cat, still wearing clothes, so strange, is this yours? Tom on Syaruo's shoulder is so conspicuous. Dai-Ren looked at Tom curiously. That's right, it's called Tom, do you want to pet it? It's very obedient, Syaruo skillfully handed out Tom in her hand. Tom still rolled his eyes, without the slightest resistance. It's not the first time anyway, just get used to it. Okay. Butterfly didn't refuse, took Tom in her arms, and touched it with her little hand. Girls still like cute animals very much. Butterfly petted Tom's fur, and Tom let her touch it freely. No dissatisfaction. What a cute cat, I didn't expect you to like keeping cats. Well, I like animals very much. Tom used to be stupid, because he couldn't catch mice. He was abandoned by the owner, and then he wandered outside and was homeless, so I took him back to my home and kept him until he was born. Now, Sioruo's eyes were full of memories. No matter where I go, Tom will always be with me. Is that so? Hearing this heartwarming story, Butterfly endured, subconsciously sympathizing with Tom. A cat who can't catch mice is really pitiful. When Sioruo was telling the story just now, she felt the trembling of the cat in her arms. Could it be that the cat could understand Sioruo's words and think of the past experience? It's so pathetic. So Butterfly rubbed Tom's hair reluctantly, and comforted him. Tom is actually a stray cat. I had such an experience before, but it's Tom's good luck to meet such a gentle and kind person as Mr. Sioruo. At this time, because of Sioruo's story, the image of a gentle and kind man was established. Sioruo shook her head, then looked at Tom, and stepped forward to stroke Tom's hair. It's nothing. I'm also a lonely person. I often travel alone. It's my luck to have Tom to accompany me. I have never treated him as a pet. Tom almost couldn't help jumping up on his master's face and giving him 2 paws. But the master did not lie. I didn't treat myself as a pet, but as a tool cat. He has a tool cat doing chores for him. Can he be unlucky? Of course, Butterfly Shinobu couldn't hear Tom's voice. Tom is also very happy to meet Mr. Sioruo. It sounds like Mr. Sioruo looks very afraid of being alone, but it doesn't matter. Although the journey is a bit far this time, I will accompany you along the way, Dai-ren said softly. It's really my honor. Sioruo's tone seemed to be in a good mood. Miss Shinobu seems to like animals very much, so we must have a lot to talk about. Sioruo used Tom to simply raise the topic, and then simply chatted with Butterfly Ninja, and it seemed that she gained a lot of goodwill. Then Sioruo started chatting with Butterfly Ninja. The ghost killing team is actually very boring. There are not many men who can chat with Butterfly Ninja. In addition, Sioruo has been the Soup House XPR for so long, so the atmosphere of chatting is not bad. However, at this time, Aoi Kanzaki and Butterfly Connie, 2 people from Butterfly House, came to see him off, and by the way sent some dry food and the like, just in time to see this scene. Seeing Shinobu-sama chatting happily with Sioruo, Aoi Kanzaki once again had a bad feeling. But after all, Sioruo didn't do anything, so Aoi Kanzaki just raised her vigilance in her heart, but didn't say anything. Miss Sayakui, Sioruo greeted her with a smile when she saw Aoi Kanzaki coming to see her off. Humph, Aoi Kanzaki just snorted when she heard Sioruo's voice, and ignored it. After seeing him off, Sioruo and Butterfly Shinobi set off. According to the location marked on the mission, if you want to travel at a normal speed, it is estimated that it will take more than 10 days, but if you run, relying on Zhu's physical strength and speed, you can get there in 3 days. During this period, it may be to test Sioruo's strength, so the butterfly ran very fast, but no matter how fast the butterfly ran, Sioruo could follow her closely. Why don't we ride horses? After running for about a morning, Sioruo couldn't help but ask Dainin. He was not tired, but just curious. Dai-Ren took a look at Sioruo, and was able to keep up with her movements all morning without any delay. From this point, Dai-Ren recognized Sioruo's strength. The places we usually go to have all kinds of terrain, including towns, but more ghosts are hidden in the mountains, so the ghost killing team does not have horses, and running on the road itself is a kind of practice. Practice anytime and anywhere, it's really strict. Sioruo looked up, looked at the big sun in the sky, narrowed her eyes slightly. The weather is very hot today, and the sun is also very poisonous. Looking at Butterfly Ninja running under the sun, Sioruo subconsciously took out a sun visor from her personal space and handed it to Butterfly Ninja. Miss Shinobu, here you are. After Sioruo's portable space was enlarged, she could find almost everything she could use, and the hat that Syoruo found was a purple style that matched Butterfly Shinobu, and the style was also good. Huh. Butterfly looked at this pretty hat, a little curious. Why do you give me this? Syoruo replied casually, the sun is too big now, and it is easy to get tanned under the sun. A woman's skin is a treasure, and it must be well protected. Treasure. The expression on Butterfly Shinobi's face was wonderful, as if he had never encountered such a situation. After playing sword for so many years, all he thought about was killing ghosts and poison every day. It was the first time someone told her that a woman's skin was a treasure. At this moment, Dai Dai felt that Syoruo was very different from those in the ghost-killing squad. Also very careful. Thanks. Butterfly finally took the sun hat from Syoruo's hand. Hat, very nice. Purple, I like it very much. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 165. After a long day of driving, the sky is slowly getting dark. At night, I can finally rest. Because it was getting dark quickly, there was no suitable village to rest nearby, so he found a wild open space to rest. Syoruo lit a bonfire, and then roasted 2 pheasants caught on the road. Syoruo is also quite good at grilling, and the grilled food is also delicious. With the spices that I brought, the fragrance will soon come out. Give it, Miss Ninja. Syoruo tore off the chicken leg and gave it to Butterfly Ninja. Thanks. After taking the chicken leg that Syoruo baked for herself, after taking a bite, Butterfly Shinobu felt his eyes light up, and that delicious feeling exploded in his mouth, which was a feeling he had never experienced before. Delicious. I have never eaten such a delicious barbecue. That's right, my cooking is delicious. Syoruo also tore a piece of meat for herself and put it in her mouth. My cooking skills were learned in a restaurant called Yangquan Restaurant when I was traveling. Later, I also worked as a chef at a place called Soup House. The big shots there like to eat my dishes. Really? Dai Dai Ren suddenly became interested in Syoruo, and felt that the boy in front of him who looked younger than himself had experienced many things. And Butterfly Shinobu also knows that he is not lying, because the food he cooks is really delicious, and no matter where he wants to come, he can make a lot of money, so he doesn't have to worry about making a living. You used to be a chef, why didn't you do it again? Butterfly Ninja suddenly wanted to get to know the young man beside him. Butterfly Shinobi heard from the Lord when he came here, and he also understood that he didn't join the ghost-killing team because he had hatred with ghosts. When Syoruo heard this question, a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Because it's boring, what's the point of cooking in one place every day? The chef's experience has already been experienced, there is no need to stay there anymore. I want go somewhere bigger. The world is so big, I want to see more scenery. Hearing this, Butterfly Ninja was stunned for a moment, then smiled. The smile was very gentle. Is that so? Your wish is really wonderful. By the way, where is your family? Family, they are all at home. I often go back to see them when I am free. Syoruo tore off another piece of meat and took a bite. Looking at Syoruo's innocent face, Dai Dai Ren's eyes flashed with envy. Then she stared at the bonfire in front of her, lost in thought. It seemed that she was recalling something, and the atmosphere suddenly fell into silence. Maybe she remembered her tragic fate. There was silence for a while, and there was a hint of sadness in the air. Syoruo could clearly feel this atmosphere. Syoruo couldn't be more familiar with this atmosphere, so he moved his body reflexively, approached Butterfly Shinobi, and at the same time took out a jug from his private space, poured a glass. The wine was handed to Butterfly Shinobu. I feel that you have something on your mind. Have a drink or two. Maybe a few glasses of wine will make you feel better. After skillfully making this movement, the corners of Syoruo's own mouth couldn't help twitching twice. It really wasn't his intention. When he met a girl who was hiding something on his mind, he skillfully pushed wine and comforted her. It was a professional habit developed when he was a publicist in the soup house. It was a terrible professional habit. However, this is also a very effective way of PR. Dai Ren saw the wine glass handed to her, and paused for a moment, as if she didn't expect Xiaoruo to take out such a thing. Then she glanced at Xiaoruo again, thought about it, and took Xiaoruo's wine glass. She really wants to drink. Butterfly swallowed a glass of wine. Xiaoruo clearly saw that Dai frowned after drinking the wine. It looks like you haven't had a drink before. I've never drank alcohol before, I just heard that when I drink, I will forget some troubles, Butterfly Shinobi said while holding the wine glass. How do you feel after drinking it? It doesn't taste good, and it's not as magical as the legend says. After finishing speaking, Butterfly Ninja glanced at Xiaoruo again. Continued cup. Do you still want to drink if it doesn't taste good? Even though he said that, Xiaoruo reflexively poured her a glass, and also poured himself a glass. Drinking with girls, he was very familiar with it. So, Xiaoruo and Butterfly endured drinking while eating barbecue. I don't know how much I drank. Xiaoruo saw that Butterfly Ren had been drinking. Of course, he would also eat some barbecue in the middle, but he didn't eat much. Is there something on your mind? Maybe it will make you feel better if you say it. Xiaoruo knew that if a girl said something, someone would help her bear it, and she would feel a little better. These are what I learned when I was working in the soup house. Of course, there are follow-up concerns and so on. After drinking 2 cups, Butterfly Shinobi's face turned slightly red, probably because of the alcohol. Butterfly Shinobi felt warm in his body. After listening to Xiaoruo's words, with the help of wine, under the moonlight, Butterfly Ren began to talk about her own experience. I used to have a very good family. My father is in business and the family is still rich. I also have a sister who treats me very well. I can talk to my sister about anything. I have made an agreement with my sister, and I will always be there together. Speaking of this, Butterfly Shinobu looked up at the moon. That time should be the best time for me. I still remember that day. The ghost came in from the door. It was a very disgusting ghost. Its mouth was full of fangs. My parents were eaten by that disgusting ghost. Only my sister and I were left by the rock. Mr. Zhu was saved. After surviving, our follower Mr. Yanzu joined the ghost-killing team, learning swordsmanship and wanting to avenge his family, but my sister died in the hands of Shangxian ghost during a mission. Speaking of this, a trace of hatred and confusion flashed in Butterfly Shinobi's eyes. I know that the ghost that killed my sister is very strong. It was a ghost that wound the string. My strength is very weak. I can't cut off the ghost's head. I don't know if the poison will work. Sister revenge. But I must kill him. Butterfly endured in a flat tone, and said what was buried in his heart. Is it hard? Xiaoruo asked. Uncomfortable. Butterfly nodded her head. Her voice was very small, and she was crying. It seemed that she was drunk now, and her consciousness was a little unclear. It's fine to cry out when you feel uncomfortable. You have worked very hard. Don't put pressure on yourself anymore. It is obvious that you have worked very hard to become a pillar at such a young age. Your sister must have seen your hard work. Xiaoruo couldn't help touching Butterfly Ninja's head. She was actually only 18 years old. Xiaoruo tried to comfort her. She put too much pressure on herself. Hearing Xiaoruo's words, Dai Ren's eyes welled up with tears. It seemed that he had been holding back for a long time, but he just let it out with the help of this wine. It's just that she just shed tears, but she didn't cry out. Well, it's much better to cry. If you think you can't take revenge, don't you still have me? Xiaoruo said gently to Dai Ren. Hearing this, Dai Ren slowly raised his head and looked at Xiaoruo's face. You don't have enough strength to cut off the ghost's head, so you can use my strength. I can lend you my strength. I guarantee that your revenge will be avenged. Dai Dai reluctantly opened her mouth, as if she wanted to say something, but before she finished speaking, she suddenly fell into Sioruo's arms. Apparently, drunk. Sioruo looked at it, and the jug of wine that she took out had already been drunk. It was the first time to drink, and it was normal to be drunk after drinking so much. So, Sioruo took out a coat and covered Dai Dai Ren's body. Seeing the tears on Dai Dai Ren's face, Sioruo couldn't help but wipe her. Go to sleep. Overnight. Early the next morning, when Dai Ren woke up, he found that his head hurt, as if what happened last night, but he couldn't remember. And Sioruo's coat was on her body. Holding the coat in his hand, Butterfly frowned. My head hurts. Last night, it seems that something happened. Why don't you remember it? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 166. Miss Shinobu, hurry up when you wake up. After Dai Ren woke up, Sioruo walked over from the side and said. Yesterday, what happened last night? Why can't I remember? Butterfly rubbed her head, she was still a little dizzy now. You drank too much last night. It seems that your alcohol capacity is not very good. After all, it is the first time to get drunk. There may be some sequelae, but you will be fine after rest. How do you feel now? Sioruo asked with concern. Road. It feels, not bad. Dai Dai couldn't believe that she actually drank alcohol last night, and she was also drunk. This is a very bizarre thing, because she has never drank alcohol before. The point is, she still can't remember what happened last night. Butterfly shook her head reluctantly, carefully recalling the memory of last night. I just remember that you handed me a glass of wine last night, and then I drank a glass. After that, my memory was blank, and I couldn't remember anything. After finishing speaking, Dai Dai reluctantly glanced at Sioruo. Sioruo. Why does this sentence mean that I have drunk something in the wine? However, Dai Dai Ren would not suspect that Sioruo had taken the medicine, because she herself is a master of medicine and a master of poison, so she can naturally tell whether there is a problem with the wine. Butterfly Shinobu didn't think about the problem of memory, because she observed her body and found that nothing strange happened, it seemed that she was simply drunk. Afterwards, the two tidied up a bit and continued to set off. During the 3 days of driving, Sioruo kept talking to Dai Dai Ren during the journey, and the two gradually became familiar with each other, and their relationship became better and better, and they talked about almost everything. Even Sioruo learned Butterfly Ninja's sword flower skills on the way. At that time, when Sioruo was about to study, she still looked serious. I heard that Butterfly Ninja's sword flower is the most handsome used in the ghost killing team. After Dai Ren listened to this reason, the smile on his face became a little stiff. Who said this? That's what everyone says. Everyone. Butterfly Ninja's eyelids twitched. It seems that the distance between me and some team members is a bit far away. I don't know such rumors. Sure, it's all passed by the team members in private, and the pillars generally don't know about it. Well, you have only been here not long ago, and you know this kind of thing? Butterfly Ren was a little curious. Sioruo should have been in the team for a few days, so why did she seem to know a lot of things? Mr. Murata and I have a good relationship. He introduced me to many friends. We chatted when we were free. Mr. Murata knows a lot of things. He is an old senior. He was the one who brought me to the Demon Slayer squad. As Sioruo said, she remembered the time when she first joined the ghost killing squad. It seems that you have a good relationship with the team members. Dai Dai smiled at Sioruo. Okay. The two chatted and hurried all the way, and finally arrived at Yoshiwara Flower Street on the third day, when it was getting dark. However, once here, Syaruo found that there were a lot of people in the Flower Street, and it didn't look like it was haunted. Syaruo and Dai-Ren jumped onto a certain roof, condescendingly watched the crowd coming and going below, and looked around. Butterfly looked at the flow of people below, felt it and said, "This place is very prosperous, and it is different from the haunted place. People on Hwaja don't have any sense of danger, and there is no smell of ghosts in the air. Ghosts are less likely." Butterfly's reasoning makes sense. Generally, in places with ghosts, many people will definitely die. Even if the corpses are disposed of, it is impossible to hide the disappearance of many people. At this time, the local atmosphere will become panic, but Yoshihara Flower Street does not have such a situation at all. The expressions on everyone's faces were very happy. "Perhaps, that ghost's methods are very clever," Syaruo said without any expression on her face, quietly looking at the flow of people below and the street. Yoshiwara Flower Street brought him a feeling of being in a soup house at that time. All kinds of noisy sounds, lively scenes, and the red lanterns in front of the shops. Looking from the windows of some shops, you can also see geisha in gorgeous costumes. From time to time, the sound of silk and bamboo musical instruments comes from the shops on both sides come. This kind of Flower Street with a sense of age really has a different flavor. Flower Street is a street at night where the vanity and desire of men and women gather, where love and hatred blend. The geisha living here were all bought here because of poverty or because their families owed money. They were all burdened with debts and endless sufferings, but relatively, working in Hwaja, their clothes and food were guaranteed. The world barely survives. If the geisha can make a name for themselves in Hwaja, it is also possible for her to get rid of her status as a geisha after marrying into a wealthy family, but this possibility is very small. Among them, the woman who is the highest geisha in the Flower Street is the Warren. A special existence that combines beauty, upbringing, and skills. Not long after, Syaruo noticed that a team seemed to be approaching not far away, surrounded by a circle of people, and everyone seemed to be looking at something. But soon, Syaruo knew what happened because someone yelled out. "It's the Warren is parading the streets. It's really an Warren." Accompanied by this sound, the surrounding atmosphere suddenly became lively again, and some customers around heard the sound and gathered together, and even many windows on the upper floors of the streets on both sides were opened. Soon, another voice came from the parade. "Licia Warren, it's Licia Warren, I like Licia Warren the most. Licia Warren is so beautiful. I'm satisfied if I can just take a look at Licia Huaqui outside, but unfortunately I don't have any money, otherwise, I'd go bankrupt and go to Yangguo to listen to Licia Huaqi's music. Fart, if you have money, would you listen to music? If I have money, I will definitely redeem Licia Huaqi." These voices also made Syaruo focus on the parade. "Want to see it?" Butterfly Shinobi on the side also noticed the parade team, and she couldn't help asking when Syaruo's eyes were sucked away. "I want to see it," Syaruo was very honest, turning her head to look at Butterfly Shinobi. "Warren Parade, I've only heard about it before, but I've never seen it before, so I'm curious." "What about the ghost? Don't forget our mission." Dai-Ren was a little helpless. She felt that Syaruo was indeed different from those in the ghost-killing team. In the first place, Syaruo is going to see the Warren as soon as she comes to Hwaja. It's not that it's wrong, it's just that Syaruo feels too loose. Not like a real fighter. Of course, this is not a shortcoming. Along the way, Dai-Ren has a little understanding of Syaruo through the 3-day experience. Syaruo itself is not like a warrior. When talking to Syaruo, there will be a unique feeling relaxed, as if I am not a warrior anymore, being brought into an ordinary girl. "Miss Shinobu, there's no need to keep your spirit tense, and you should let yourself relax a little bit occasionally and have some fun." Syoruo looked at Dai Dai and smiled, Miss Ren, have you seen the warren? Are you not curious? Go and see, what if the warren is a ghost? Butterfly shook her head helplessly, she knew it would become like this. But since this task is to accompany Syoruo by himself, then follow Syoruo's instructions. Anyway, this flower street doesn't look like there is a ghost. Okay, let's go and have a look, find a good position, and I'll also take a look to see if the warren is as good looking as the rumors say. Butterfly Ninja has also heard of the warren's rumors. In the story, the most widely circulated is her beautiful face. When Syoruo said it, she was also a little curious. Unknowingly, Butterfly Ninja was inexplicably brought into Syoruo's rhythm. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Miao. Chapter 167. Syoruo and Dai Ren shuttled on the roof, and soon found a very good angle to watch the warren parade. For this era with few entertainment activities, the warren parade is already a very lively event, and Syoruo even took out her mobile phone to record it. Warren Parade, also known as Warren Road, is a unique Japanese culture. Syoruo looked at the parade below, and put her eyes on the face of the warren. It was a very gentle and beautiful woman, with just the right makeup on her face, matched with gorgeous costumes and hair accessories. She was indeed a beautiful girl. A very beautiful beauty, and exuded a unique temperament all over her body. That is a different temperament, or aura, from the surrounding geisha. With heavy wooden clogs under his feet, he stepped on a special pace, walking quite slowly, but with a unique sense of beauty. In addition to the warren, there are many geisha and men accompanying them. At the front of the warren parade is a man with a samurai head, holding a big red lantern in his hand. Pattern. The entire parade is slowly advancing in accordance with the rhythm of the warren. Although there are no particularly exciting action performances, the slow-moving movements of the warren, combined with her appearance and temperament, constitute a performance with a unique charm. After Syoruo watched it, she felt that this warren parade was indeed a very exciting event, with a strong flavor of foreign culture. Li Xia Warren, saying this name, Syoruo remembered who this warren was. Appeared in the original work, the warren who is as famous as the 6 fallen princesses on the string. He is very gentle, and his subordinates are also very kind. When Tanjiro disguised himself as a woman and sneaked into Hana Street, Koisha Warren was very gentle to Tanjiro. Finally, when Tanjiro left, he also said goodbye to her, and she even found out Tanjiro is a boy thing. She is completely the opposite of Luoji. When Luoji is exposed, she is the first to want to eat her. It looks right, it's here, probably, the Shangxian ghost should be hidden in some store, Syoruo thought to herself. However, at some point, Butterfly Ninja appeared in Syoruo's ear. It was a very close distance, and Syoruo could even feel Dainin's breathing. Have you finished reading? Do you want to continue reading? It's not bad even to follow that warren home. Butterfly Shinobu had a very gentle smile on his face, but there was a dangerous aura in the smile. Ahem, I've finished reading it. It's very exciting. It satisfies my curiosity, Syoruo replied quickly. Dai Dai Ren looked at Syoruo's face with his eyes, and did not continue to pursue him, but Dai Dai Ren looked in the direction Li Xiaohuakui left, and said in a low voice, it's really beautiful, as expected of Huakui, just like the rumors, this can be regarded as satisfying my curiosity. It's okay, if you really compare it, Miss Ninja must be better looking, Syoruo said after putting her hand on her chin. Huh? Me? Dai Dai couldn't believe that Syoruo could say such a thing, but she still shook her head. It's incomparable, that warren is really beautiful. But Miss Ninja is also very beautiful, that warren is just a set off of makeup and clothing, how can it be compared to Miss Ninja? When Syoruo said this, she suddenly glanced at Butterfly Ninja, and then said mysteriously, Miss Ninja doesn't know, The team members below are all telling you that you are the number one beauty in the ghost killing squad. The number one beauty? Hearing this news, the expression on Butterfly Wren's face was very exciting. To be honest, she felt that the content of the chat between herself and Sioruo became more and more strange, and she felt that she was being led more and more sideways. Normally, no one would talk about such things. Unfortunately, Dai Ren felt that it was not bad to talk about such things with him. What Sioruo revealed was a bit too shocking. Butterfly Wren asked out of curiosity, really? The number one beauty? But I think Lian Ziganlu Temple is also very cute. I haven't met Miss Ganlussi, so I don't know. Sioruo scratched her head embarrassedly, but I heard, yes, I heard that Miss Ganlussi is the number one murderer of the ghost killing squad. Butterfly Shinobi. She clearly felt that when Sioruo said this, a line of sight seemed to sweep past her chest. Butterfly Ninja really wanted to stab Sioruo in the stomach. Also, I really don't know what those team members are doing when they don't practice well. Okay, I've had enough fun, now I'm going to start the serious task. Dai Dai couldn't bear to play with Sioruo anymore, and the expression on his face became serious. If you continue to make trouble, you will really come to Hwaja with Sioruo. Okay, Sioruo also nodded, looking more serious, as if she finally remembered what she was doing in Hwaja. Although Sioruo knew the identity of Luoji was the warden of one of the shops in Hwaja, and she could be found by just asking someone, but Sioruo always felt that something was missing if she went directly to the door like this. The ups and downs are missing. This is a colleague who will increase his reputation in the future. It would be too boring if he directly hits the door and solves it. It is estimated that half an episode will be over. What Sioruo wants to do is to have fun for the audience and add some plot. Now it is completely dark, and Hwaja has officially entered the nightlife. Next, let's start looking for ghosts. I believe you have your own way to find ghosts. For the sake of efficiency, we will split up and meet here tomorrow night, Butterfly Wren said to Sioruo. Do you have any opinions? Have. Huh. Dai Dai Ren heard that Sioruo had an opinion. Dai Dai Ren's heart skipped a beat. She was afraid that Sioruo would say some nonsense again. What's your opinion? Sioruo's eyes became very serious. He looked straight into Dai Dai Ren's eyes. I have a hunch that there must be ghosts in Hwaja, and they are very powerful ghosts. This hunch is very strong. I hope you promise me that after encountering ghosts, don't act on your own and pay attention to your own safety. Worry about me? Dai Dai couldn't believe that what Sioruo said was actually this matter. The only ghost that could threaten her safety was the Shangxian ghost. Butterfly knew that Sioruo would not talk nonsense about serious matters. Maybe he really discovered something, or perceived something. Sometimes, the premonition is very accurate. Thinking of this, she smiled softly. It's okay, I'm the fastest in the ghost killing team, and it's impossible for others to stop me, but you, if you really meet a powerful ghost, remember to speak loudly. Scream, maybe I'll come down from the sky and save you. It fell from the sky, is it a fairy? Sioruo couldn't help laughing when she heard this. It's a butterfly. Butterfly Ninja patted her butterfly like Haori, and now she also started joking with Sioruo. Okay, there's nothing to say, let's split up first, then we'll be here tomorrow night meet. Well, let's split up. After finishing speaking, Sioruo and Dai Dai Ren disappeared in place at the same time. After separation, on the side of Butterfly Ninja. Butterfly holds the knife and keeps moving across the roof, sensing the breath of ghosts. Zuru is quite sensitive to the smell of ghosts, similar to Tanjiro's sense of smell, Zenitsu's sense of hearing, and Inashuk's sense of search. Generally, wherever ghosts exist, they cannot escape Zhu's search. It's just that Dai Dai Ren searched all the way, but he really didn't find any breath about ghosts. Could it be that there are really no ghosts here? Otherwise, how could I not find any traces, unless all traces are hidden. Thinking of this, Butterfly Ninja also became a little nervous. Could it be the winding string that can do this? Of course, in addition to winding, some ghosts with special abilities can also do it, but Dai Ninja Search is more careful. On Sioruo's side, Sioruo went to have some fun. I saw Sioruo carrying Tom on his shoulder, holding a handful of golden gold bars in his hand, and with a smile on his face, he walked into a shop with a red lantern hanging at the door. Suddenly, there were 2 roars in the store. "Welcome, sir. Please come in. I can break the dimensional wall." Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 168. Holding a gold bar in her hand, Sioruo entered a custom shop. The name seemed to be Yaju House. After Sioruo got Granny Tang's treasure in the soup house, she was almost never short of money. That was the wealth that Granny Tang had accumulated all her life. Even Sioruo couldn't figure out how much of it was in it. It might cause some trouble if the gold was taken to the real world, but it didn't matter if it was used casually in the animation world. Walking around a custom shop with a gold bar in hand, although it looks a bit vulgar, but it really saves a lot of trouble. At least as soon as you enter, you will immediately receive high standard hospitality. Soon, a woman with heavy makeup came over, with a warm smile on her face. The woman was dressed differently from other geisha. She was a bit older, and her eyes were small. She looked like a bustard same person. Sioruo heard the conversations of the people around her and realized that this person was the owner's wife. After the owner's wife glanced at the gold in Sioruo's hands, the smile on her face became brighter, like a blooming flower. "Welcome, guests, hurry up to the second floor." "Okay," Sioruo nodded, and then threw Tom on her shoulders to a big-chested geisha next to her. "Take care of it for me, and treat it as a distinguished guest." Sioruo will not forget Tom about this kind of enjoyment. Tom also gave Sioruo a satisfied look. Yes, I will definitely take care of you, don't worry." The owner's wife gave the geisha a look, and soon, the geisha took Tom to serve. Presumably it was a pet massage or something. This kind of custom shop is often visited by dignitaries, who have all kinds of hobbies, and it is not the first time to take care of pets. "By the way, call me your Warren," Sioruo said to the shopkeeper's wife on the way upstairs. "Guests, in our place, Warrens don't accept ordinary guests." The owner's wife had a troubled look on her face when she heard Sioruo's words. Slap! Bang! A few gold bars in Sioruo's hand suddenly fell, and the heavy gold bars made a crisp sound when they touched the floor. When the owner's wife saw this scene, her eyes lit up, and she immediately picked up the few gold bars, with a brighter smile on her face. "Guest, you are so lucky. I just told the top Warren of our family. After hearing my description, she knew that the guest is so handsome. She is tidying up in her room and will come soon. We don't accept ordinary guests. But a noble person like you, guest, is naturally not an ordinary person." "Yeah." Sioruo raised her eyebrows. There was no surprise. After all, he had done this before, and the scene where he just dropped the gold was imitating a scene from a comedy movie he had seen. "Hurry up and urge the Warren, and prepare some food and drinks by the way," Sioruo said, looking at the owner's wife. "Okay, please wait a moment, guest." Sioruo was taken to a spacious room on the second floor. The layout was also very comfortable. It looked like it was used to entertain valuable guests. The owner's wife stood by. Although the Warren hadn't come yet, she still sent to a geisha plays an instrument in front of Sioruo. Behind Sioruo are 2 traveling girls who are giving Sioruo a massage. Huh. Sioruo let out a breath, and quietly listened to the geisha sonata in front of her. Although it was not as good as modern music, it had a special feeling unexpectedly. He has been training swordsmanship with Mr. Lintaki before, and after so long of hard training, he can finally relax. Compared with hard training, it is obviously more comfortable here. But Sioruo did not forget her mission. This custom shop was randomly chosen by Sioruo. In order to hide among humans, Luoji disguised herself as an Warren, but Sioruo didn't know which shop it was. So Sioruo had an idea, and started to randomly select shops. He didn't know whether the Warren in this custom shop was a fallen concubine or not. It's just right, it doesn't matter if it's not, anyway, you can always find Luoji in the end when you go shopping in one after another. While Sioruo was enjoying herself while waiting for the Warren, on the other hand, Butterfly Ninja was seriously searching. Butterfly Ninja quickly passed through the entire flower street, but in this entire flower street, Butterfly Ninja did not find any clues. Without any clues, Butterfly Ninja stopped on the roof of a certain custom shop, looking at all the feasting and feasting things below. There's nothing abnormal. Sure enough, the fox's tail won't be easily revealed. Butterfly Ninja narrowed her eyes slightly, feeling the flow of the surrounding wind. During the serious search, she also saw something wrong. There is no ghost smell, but the feeling in the air makes me a little uneasy. The whole flower street seems to be shrouded in smoke. The method of hiding the aura is ingenious and simple. If Sioruo hadn't reminded me, I might really ignore these details. This method of hiding the aura. A smile suddenly appeared on Butterfly Shinobi's face. It was a very dangerous smile. Is it the ghost that wins up? It looks like there's going to be a hard fight. Back to Sioruo's side. Why isn't your Warren here? Sioruo was idle and bored. She patted the table with a slap, pretending to be a normal Piao customer, as if she couldn't wait for the Warren to be a little impatient. Hurry up, please wait a little longer, the owner's wife hurriedly comforted, while urging people to find the Warren quickly. Customers, don't worry, the Licia Warren in our store is the most beautiful Warren in the entire flower street. Snored. At this time, Sioruo was in the Warren's room in the custom shop. Snapped. At this time, a girl cleaning the room accidentally broke an ornament bottle next to it. It's okay. Li Xiaohuaqi heard the sound of something breaking, and quickly got up, looked at the girl, and asked with some concern. I'm fine, but the vase is broken. The girl looked panic-stricken. She had only arrived not long ago, and she was a little afraid of being punished by the Warren. It's good that you are fine. This bottle is not very valuable. Let me tell the proprietress, she won't punish you. Li Xiaohuaqi comforted gently. Looking at the girl who was still a little panicked, she smiled softly. You are new here, just pay more attention next time. Thank you, Li Xiaohuaqi. The girl looked at the Warren's face and thanked her. She had heard that Lixia Warren treated her subordinates very well, but she did not expect it to be as true as the rumors said. It's okay, don't be nervous, Lixia Huaqi is a very nice person, she is the best Warren in Yoshiwara Flower Street. At this time, another girl around said, her tone seemed very proud, she was here to help the Warren make up. By the way, Lixia Huaqi, have you heard that there are girls around here who have been pumped? It's scary. There have been many such things recently, and everyone disappeared in the end, said the girl in makeup. He whispered to Li Xiaohuaqi, as if he didn't dare to talk about it loudly. Hush, Li Xiaohuaqi hissed softly, as if he didn't want to talk about this matter anymore. Don't think about it, maybe everyone has escaped now. Squeezing feet means that girls who have not paid off their debts run away from the custom shop. Of course, if they are caught, they will end badly. Generally, if they are caught, they end up disappearing. This kind of disappearance is called smacking feet. But not all of them were captured, and there were also girls who were lucky enough to escape. Although I don't want everyone to talk about it, there is still a trace of uneasiness in Lixia Huaqi's brows. There are also pumping incidents on weekdays, but recently there seem to be more and more pumping, and many of them are a bit abnormal. Why do you think running away? Obviously many people have left here, even food and lodging is a problem. Is it something that happened in Hwaja? There seems to be a strange atmosphere in Yoshiwara Flower Street, which is felt by Licia, who is in Warren. Just when she was worrying about this matter, there was a knock on her door, and there was a female voice who seemed a little excited outside the door. Licia Huakuai, here comes a guest. It is a very rich guest. The proprietress asked you to put on your makeup and go quickly to entertain. This time the guest is very generous. They paid gold bars, gold bars. Okay, I get it now. Licia Huakuai responded indifferently, without much expression on her face. Gold bars and the like didn't mean much to her, since they were all men anyway. Xiao Yu, put on your makeup. Yes, Lixia Warren. The girl who put on makeup started to get busy immediately. After putting on makeup, Licia Huakuai was about to pick up the guests. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 169. After some makeup and tidying up, Licia Huakuai, who was fully dressed and put on makeup, came to the room where Xiaoruo was. After opening the door, Licia Huakuai first bowed in Xiaoruo's direction. Guest, sorry, I'm late. When Licia Huakuai raised her head, she saw Xiaoruo's face, but after seeing it, she was a little surprised, thinking that she didn't expect that this time the guest looks handsome, a little different from the previous guests. After Licia Huakuai came, the rest of the geisha girls all retreated, even the proprietress, but before going out, she took a greedy look at the gold bars that Xiaoruo put on the table. Kabuki warrens in this era are different from those in modern times. They are also responsible for receiving guests in addition to performing arts, so everyone else in the room has left, leaving only Xiaoruo and Licia. When Xiaoruo heard what the shopkeeper's wife said before, she knew that the warren who was coming was the Licia warren who was parading outside just now, not the fallen concubine she was looking for. As the warren, Luoji seems to be using a pseudonym as a disguise. Xiaoruo has forgotten what Luoji's pseudonym is, and it seems that there is also a character G in her name. But these are not important anymore. Xiaoruo looked at Licia Huakuai who came in, and nodded slightly. Miss Licia, please sit down. Xiaoruo stretched out her hand and motioned for the seat next to her. Thank you, guest, but since I'm late, let me play a song for the guest first as an apology. Music is what Licia is best at. After finishing speaking, Licia Huakuai sat down on a chair beside her very skillfully, took out a stringed instrument and started playing. Licia Huakuai is the daughter of a declining noble family. She is very proficient in musical instruments, literature, and tea ceremony. She didn't speak, and started to play directly. When she moved her fingers, a kind of natural sound came slowly. The warren's performance is completely different from the previous geisha, and the music played has a refreshing feeling after listening to it. After the performance, Xiaoruo couldn't help applauding. It sounds good, it's a good performance. Miss Licia, did you often play for guests before? Xiaoruo was suddenly curious, and wanted to exchange professional experience with Licia Huakuai. After all, the work Xiaoruo did before is not much different. Well, usually they will play to the guests first, and then chat with the guests, Licia Huakuai replied truthfully. Also, what do you usually talk about? Afterwards, Xiaoruo asked a lot of questions to exchange experience. After all, there was nothing else to talk about. During the chat, Xiaoruo found that the job of the warren was quite different from her own at that time. Generally speaking, it is a difference in thinking. When chatting with women, women generally need comfort and care, while men need to satisfy him and enhance his self-esteem in chat. For these things, Xiaoruo is I remembered it in my heart. Licia was also a little strange. She found that this guest was different from other guests, She didn't touch her, but asked some strange questions, as if she was just chatting. Lee Xia didn't hate this kind of chat either. After that, Xiaoruo talked about some strange incidents near Huaja. Lee Xia had a good impression of Xiaoruo, so she didn't hide it, and told Xiaoruo about many girls being squeezed. Just chatting, the topic became more and more biased, and Xiaoruo's passive professional habits were also activated. Under Xiaoruo's guidance, Li Xiaohuaqi talked about his sad things, and even told about his tragic childhood experience, what happened to his family back then, how he was sold to Huaja, and how he used his talent and Xiao Yang slowly stepped into the position of Warren. Overall, it was quite a sad experience. I don't know how long we chatted, but in the end, with Xiaoruo's rich experience, Li Xia's emotions were aroused by Xiaoruo, almost crying while talking. Women are like made of water, tears flow endlessly, and Xiaoruo is also very skillful in comforting and wiping away tears. It's okay, just cry. It's really hard work for Li Xiaohuaqi, and she encountered such misfortune at such a young age, Xiaoruo said sympathetically, and skillfully handed Li Xiaohuaqi a glass of wine. Have another drink. The two of them didn't know how much wine they drank, but Li Xia's alcohol capacity was very good, and he didn't pour it after a few glasses like Butterfly Shinobu. No one has heard me say these things before. In the Yaju house, there are not many people I can fully trust. Today, the guests can listen to me so much. I am really grateful. Li Xiaohuaqi wiped the corner of his eyes tears, picked up the glass and drank a glass. It's okay, you will definitely find a man who loves you in the future. A gentlewoman like Miss Li Xia will definitely find happiness in the future. Xiaoruo patted Li Xia's shoulder and continued to comfort her. Happiness. Hope, but who would marry someone like me? Li Xia shook her head, with a hint of disappointment in her tone. She glanced at Xiaoruo. To be honest, during the chat, Li Xia also had a good impression of this guest in front of her, young and understanding herself. Today when she chatted with Xiaoruo, she felt a strange feeling after being comforted. Even if Xiaoruo came again next time, Li Xia would not want to take his money anymore. It's just that such people are just his guests, and if there are too many, Li Xia doesn't want to have extravagant expectations. Once a geisha falls in love too much, the final outcome is just a tragedy. There are too many such things in Huaja. Maybe tomorrow, he will forget about himself. In this case, it is better to stop this idea as soon as possible and do your own thing well. Guest, are you tired? It's time to rest. Li Xia couldn't help reminding. Really? Xiaoruo glanced out of the window. At this time, the noisy atmosphere in Huaja was much less, and it seemed that it was already late at night. Really, it's late, and you really should rest. Then let's rest together. Xiaoruo nodded, and then took Li Xiaohuaqi to the bedside. Li Xia also smiled and slowly approached Xiaoruo. Snapped. The next moment, Xiaoruo slashed Li Xiaohuaqi's back with a knife in one hand. The force was just enough to knock her out. Seeing Li Xia fainted, Xiaoruo hugged her soft body, put her on the bed, even covered her with a quilt. At this time, Xiaoruo acted like a gentleman. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became a little strange, and the temperature seemed to drop a bit. I said, I'm only here to investigate information, I don't want to do other bad things at all, do you believe it? Xiaoruo suddenly said to himself. No, it's not talking to himself. I don't know when Butterfly Shinobi also appeared in the room, silently, as if she had been there all the time, and I don't know when she came. Believe it, the investigation information has been detected on the bed. It is really a powerful detection method, and the efficiency is very high. Butterfly Shinobi still had such a gentle smile on her face, but the gentler her smile was, the more dangerous it seemed to people, and Butterfly Shinobi slowly put her hand on the handle of the knife. I also ordered the Warren, it's really rich, Mr. Syaruo. Butterfly Ninja just came here, and it was better to see you tomorrow, but when Butterfly Ren passed by here, he sensed Syaruo's breath, so he came down to take a look, and unexpectedly found a surprise. As soon as she came, she heard the two of them saying that they wanted to rest together. Looking at Syaruo's actions, she should have found herself. If she hadn't come. Dai Dai slowly walked to the bed, glanced at the Warren lying on the bed, the smile on the corner of her mouth became brighter and brighter. She knew this Warren. Isn't this the Lixia Huaqi who was just parading through the streets? Why, I fell in love with her when I was parading just now, and in a blink of an eye, she was on your bed. You misunderstood, I was really investigating intelligence. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 170. You misunderstood, I was really investigating intelligence. Investigate the information, do you think I will believe it? Dai Dai said with a half smile. She glanced at the sleeping Warren, and couldn't help but step forward to touch Li Xia's face. What a beauty, she is worthy of being an Warren. If I were a man, I would be tempted too. No wonder you came here. Syaruo felt that there was something wrong with the atmosphere, but it seemed difficult to explain it at this time. So Syaruo went back to her seat and sat down, picked up the flagon on the table, because although she drank a lot before, there was still some wine on the table. Miss Shinobu, after searching for so long, I must be hungry. Sit down and drink 2 glasses of wine first, and then I will order some food. Let's take a rest first. Dai Dai could not bear to hear Syaruo's words, and withdrew his hand from Li Xia's face. You still know that I went to search, but you agreed to search together, but you secretly found an Warren here to accompany you. It's really okay, Mr. Syaruo. Syaruo poured herself a drink. Miss Shinobi, I've said it all. It's all a misunderstanding. You just missed the part where I asked for information just now. Besides, my name is Lixia Huaqi, and there is no other meaning, and I will not do that kind of excessive thing. What's too much? Isn't it normal for men to go shopping in Huaja? You don't need to explain to me. Butterfly Shinobi still had that gentle smile on her face, as if she was wearing a mask, which hadn't changed. There is no relationship between us. You came out to find the Warren because it is a personal hobby. It has nothing to do with me. You can do whatever you want, and you can even continue to do your things when I don't exist. I won't be angry. It's just that I don't want you to waste time and energy by doing unnecessary things while doing the mission. Don't forget, the mission we came out to do this time is to find ghosts. Although she said that it had nothing to do with her and she was not angry, Dai Dai Ren's tone seemed very angry, and she didn't understand why she was so angry. It may be because Syaruo is still so unscrupulous in this place where Shangxian ghosts may exist, secretly visiting the custom shop, not paying attention to the task at all, so she is a little angry. Don't be angry, I didn't tell you the method of detecting information before, I was wrong, Syaruo apologized to Dai Dai Ren. Butterfly Shinobi, you're right, I'm not angry. Syaruo. Butterfly Ren's words reminded Syaruo of when her girlfriend was angry before. When she was angry, she liked to say you are right and I am not angry. These 2 sentences are the scariest, because in this case, it usually takes a lot of effort to coax them well. But at this time, Syaruo also has a way to deal with it, because what Dai Dai Ren cares most about is the issue of the winding ghost, so Syaruo took out the information she just got. I really got information about ghosts. Many girls disappeared in this flower street. It's just that for some reason, the news of their disappearance didn't attract attention. What information? Although he was still angry, Butterfly Shinobu immediately ignored what had just happened when it came to the ghost. Afterwards, Syaruo recounted to Butterfly Ninja the news she had received from Li Xia about the girl being pumped. After hearing the news, Butterfly endured thought for a moment. Are you pumping your feet? It seems that there are ghosts hiding in Hwaja to eat people. This is certain, and it is possible to disguise themselves as humans and sneak in there. But, where is the other party hiding? Finding that ghost is the most troublesome thing for Butterfly Ninja. The other party concealed his aura and hid in the custom shop. If he wants to find it, he must enter the custom shop to investigate. It's just that there are more than one custom shop in Hwaja. If you want to find the ghost, you have to go to one shop after another, not to mention the trouble, and it is easy to expose your actions. When Yinzu in the original work faced this situation, he sent his 3 ninja wives to the custom shop as undercover agents, and then learned about the situation of the shop through the wives' letters and information, but in the end all his wives got in, and Yinzu neither has confirmed the identity of the ghost. Later, he found Tanjiro and others to go undercover and slowly revealed the truth. Seeing that Dai Dai Ren couldn't think of any good ideas, Syaruo suddenly said, "I have another piece of information." "What information? Tell me what you have," Dai Dai Ren asked quickly. She really couldn't think of a good way to find the ghost. Miss Lixia is a well-known local Warren, so she knows a lot of secrets. When I chatted with Lixia Warren before, I learned that the shop that has been pumped up the most is Jingjia. Syaruo paused at this point, glanced Butterfly Ninja. Besides, the Fern Princess Warren in the Kigoku house is very mysterious. It has never appeared in the daytime. According to the rumors, it seems that she has a skin disease. I suspect that the ghost is probably in the Jingaku house, and it is very likely that it is the Fern Girl Warren. The above statements are false. When Syaruo chatted with Lixia Huaqui before, they only talked about the rest of the courtesans. Among them, Lixia Huaqui mentioned the Waraji Warren of Jingjia, saying that her temper was not very good. Hearing the name of Daiji, Syaruo guessed that Fern Ji should be Shangxian Gui, and Falling Ji, as the Warren, must have a Ji character in her disguised name. So he said it never appeared in the daytime and it seems to have a skin disease. These are just Syaruo's slightly processed information. Syaruo has the answer, and now he just processed the problem-solving process a little bit. Is that really the case? Hearing Syaruo's words, Butterfly Shinobi found that this Fern Girl Warren was really strange, at least from the intelligence, it could match the characteristics of ghosts. If these are true, it really saves a lot of time and energy. Thinking of this, Dai Dai reluctantly took a look at Li Xiaohui who was still lying on the bed, and his face looked a little better. It seems that you really got useful information and didn't patronize it for fun. Of course, drinking with Huaqui, is it more interesting to drink with MS Ninja? Syaruo continued to pat the seat next to her, motioning for her to sit over. I haven't eaten much all day, I've eaten all the dishes here just now. I don't have much to eat, let's eat some. Snort. Although she snorted, Butterfly Shinobi didn't seem to be very angry anymore, and what Syaruo said was right, she really didn't eat much and was a little hungry. So Dai Dai sat down beside Syaruo, picked up the chopsticks and ate the dishes on the table. Syaruo took advantage of the situation and poured a glass of wine. Want a drink? Don't drink.